the session by Digital Vidya on how to master SEO in 2017. For leading the session, we have Navneet Kaushal. Navneet is the founder and CEO of Page Traffic, a top-ranked SEO company founded in 2002. Navneet's expertise has established page traffic as one of the most awarded and successful search engine marketing agencies in the world. So welcome, Navneet. Let's get started with the session.
Hi, thank you, Divya. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to have this webinar with you all, guys. I mean, SEO is something which I eat, live, and breathe literally, and something which I would love to share as well. So today we're going to talk about how to master the SEO in 2017. It's basically every year in last since 2012, SEO has been changing, and there are a lot of things which has been going on, and this is what we're going to talk about today. And so let's begin how SEO has changed. So this is how the starting was in 2003 when we started doing the link building, blog comments, forums, reciprocal links, and then we moved to the if you see the evaluation from 2013 to 2012, it was pretty much flat. Till 2009-10 you were doing articles, blog, then came blog network, guest blogs. In 2012 came Google Penguin update, and then things started changing. In 2014 we had content marketing which came in, and 2015 they were natural learning. So this was till 2015 what used to be valuation of SEO, which now I'm going to specifically talk how the SEO has changed in 2016 and how we can benefit from all the changes in 2017. So let's look at some of the biggest search algorithm updates of 2016. On January 8th, there was a core algorithm update. So there were some major fluctuations in the ranking in the second weekend of the year, which we thought that it's a Penguin update, but Penguin is basically a link update, which it was not. So, but there was a big update which Google accepted as well. Then on 23rd February, there was an 8-word placement big update, where Google removed the links from the right hand column and the 4 links started coming on the top. So which had a strong impact on the click-through rates, CTR, as a result of this change. On February 24, Google launched something called as AMP, so mobile for mobile, and this was something which the mobile web was very popular and still is popular with news carousels, where you could see the AMP pages. So if you click through your mobile, if you click on any of the link, you would find some of these pages very fast loading. That is which AMP, which we're going to talk a little bit further. May 10th, there was an unconfirmed update. Will all the tools say this? There was a big update. Again, Google said that they do a lot of updates and they're not going to confirm about it. On May 12th, Google came with the Google Friendliness update, which said that this is a big update, which Google said, and the pages which were mobile friendly got a boost in their rankings. On September 1, this Postum update came, which was targeted specifically for the local search, and the city limits were increased. So let's say if you are searching for something in Delhi, you are still, let's say in, for example, Noida or Gurgaon, you would still find the local addresses. So that's how the city limits were increased in the Postum update. Then the universal search result shakeup happened on September 13th. So almost half of the images were dropped out of the search results. That means this was something which happened very big, and a lot of SERP results, which is search engine ranking pages, switched because of this. Then came September 23rd, almost after a 2 year of waiting, the Penguin 4 hit us, all of us, which is based on links. And Google first time said that the Penguin 4 now is going to be real time. It's not going to be an update just before, and it's just going to be update like Google Panda. So that's what happened in then. And then on November 10th, there was a unconfirmed update, which we saw there were some spikes, which were reversed in November 18, but as we can see, it was not done completely. Just to summarize, Google in October announced that they are going to have a mobile first index. So what mobile first index is, that instead of desktop, they're going to have the website indexed via mobile first. And the mobile index is going to be updated faster. Google has not rolled out, but they have said it's going to be a priority. We still need to see. AMP, which is accelerated mobile pages, were launched in February by Google and Twitter. Google Rank Brain was a software. So Google said that now our algorithm is more machine friendly, and it's like based on machine rather than it's a machine learning. So it's an AI which learns on its own and improves the ranking results. In September, as I just mentioned, there was a Google Penguin update, and of course the removal of the adverts from the right hand side also happened around same time. So let's see what's new with the Google, which happened specifically, which we need to take care of this. So mobile search was something which was a priority for Google, and Google has been pushing towards it. Let's see why. Worldwide, more than half of the search happens on mobile. This was almost 1.5 years back. So we are assuming that the mobile search have increased since then. Non-mobile friendly sites disappeared from the top results. That also happened a couple of years back. And if you see the mobile friendliness of the top 10 result pages, so you see almost 80% of the pages which are in top 10, in fact 83% of the pages which are in top 10 are mobile friendly. So if you see all the sites, none of the, almost 66% or 67% of the pages are mobile friendly. That's what happened with the top 10 results. If you go by the search results by the industry, so more than retail 80% pages which are coming in top or in e-commerce are mobile friendly. So of course you could do a Google search and you could find your page as a mobile friendly or not. That's something you can do. Specifically, just a tip. So for a desktop, Google shows 70 characters with spaces. For a mobile, it shows around 55 characters with spaces. So it's important to keep a note of this to understand that how you are optimizing your page also going to help. And the next update was regarding the content. Panda update, which was related to content, which happened way back in almost 2011-10, so which addresses the duplicate content, and now it runs regularly. According to the Gary, who is at the Google's search quality team, he says this algorithm runs every few weeks. So unlike previously, if you had a duplicate content and you get a penalty, Google Panda update will come and you have to wait till then, just like Penguin didn't came for 2 years. It's no longer a case like this. So you could actually have a Google Panda update which runs every few weeks. So if you have a site, you can discover problems like thin content or duplicate. If you fix it, you can expect to come back in almost few weeks. Then the links, which was important, a Penguin update which came in 2012. Penguin focused on link spam. So any link intended to manipulate page rank, that was, and any link which was in violated of Google Webmaster Guidelines was something which was focused on link spam. And the last update happened on 23rd of September 2016, and since there's the update before that was almost 2 years back. But now Google has said that it's an automated update. So Google updates, Penguin says it's now run in a real time with the core search algorithm. So that is something which is good to know. Then there was another Google POSM update I mentioned. So released in early September, seemed to focus on local results. So a lot of local results shifted up because of this. For specifically for POSM, it was important that if you have multiple offices and locations, so you need to enter each address for those locations. So it's not that you just default. So let's say if you have an office in Delhi as well as Noida, or let's say Gurgaon, you need to have all three addresses and all three phone numbers separate. You cannot just run through one phone number across all these. That's where the rankings of all those pages who have same number went away. Just an example, if you see, this is on a screen where you type pizza and you would see. Then there were technical issues which we talked. So of course in 2010 Google said that the site speed is actually a ranking factor, and if we went into, we actually saw that the top 10 sites which are coming, this result is without Wikipedia. So if we went through it and we saw that without Wikipedia, site speed is actually very, very vital, and on mobile it becomes more important. If you see on the, so top 10 websites with top 10 top 30 websites, you will see that the mobile friendliness is very, very important. As see the organic versus paid, the difference increased when it comes to the organic. So something which happened, as you can see, the organics results because of the removal of the pages, which shows. So if I go back, so this was correlated to the site speed. So if you go and see the site speed, if your site speed is slow, your organic traffic just fell, and if you increased your site speed, your organic traffic increased. Going to the TLDs, so a lot of people, there were a lot of TLDs launched, and a lot of people thought what's gonna be is the new TLD is basically a domain name, let's say digitalvidya.com. That .com is a TLD. So Google said that they ignore content. Keyword rich domains were something which Google said they now ignore. So that's something Google told us then. Coming to social factors, so there was a study done by Search Matrix, and they say these are some of the most important ranking factors. However, the thing is that, so I mean, Google has again and again says that they don't use social as a ranking factor. However, I will come back and say why social is still important for SEO. That I'm gonna have it later in the presentation. And so let's say if you are having a website in 2017, what are the things you could audit and to fix these sites? So there are four things you can see: technical issues, which are very, very important to be spotted. Then there are links, then there is content, and then there are analytics. So let's say if you already have done SEO, you could do a retargeting. I'm not sure if you guys are not doing it. Retargeting is easy. You could do the people who visit your website, there's a cookie set for 180 days, and if they visit some other website, they can see those banner ads. Now almost all of these major networks offers the retargeting. uh, just to reiterate, the goal of search engine still remains the same: to provide user valuable information at the shortest period of time. However, search engines are now smarter. So, of course, it's getting harder and harder to manipulate results, and the focus is now to bring quality results, which is important. So, SEOs have come a long way from being a black hat to doing is social for you. So let's say in 2012, a big majority of SEOs were buying links. Some SEO was still doing directories. Few were doing article marketing, but badly. So creating good quality articles worked at that time. Then people went, and then Google Panda update came in. Then Google Penguin update came in. And by early 2014, most SEOs were knee deep trying to resolve penalties. The black hats were now charging for removing the links so that they sold you the year before. And by now everyone was desperate, jumping on the content marketing bandwagon. So the content marketing, which now most of us relates to the SEO, becomes a part of it, is really a catch caught up in 2014. Uh, if you see the site of traffic and everything, rankings went down. Here you can see. So this is what people were doing: writing an article, spinning it, buy placements on shitty blogs, and that is something which we were doing. But then the Google Penguin update came. So unless you want to be eaten by a Google Penguin, it doesn't make sense anymore to do all those types of things. Let's see what becomes important in 2017 for the SEOs. So there are four goals to the search engine marketing. The first and foremost goal is, of course, getting found. So that's SEO. Then keeping people interested. That's what Google have started increasingly saying, that they refer to something where it's important for them. The UI is important of the website. There was an update. Of course, I'm just talking. There was an update in January 11th, January 7th, which February 7th, sorry. So there was a big update on February 7th, which tends to show that Google now also counts the UI into the algorithm. Though we do not have a confirmation from Google, but we tend to see the websites which were having good UI were awarded compared to the other websites. Coming back to the goals, so these goals, if you see year and year, these are SEO basics. They won't change. The methodology might change, but eventually this is the four goals for any search engine marketing campaigns which you do not expect to change. Let's say current problems, what we face: miscommunications about SEO. So people think SEO is a magic wand and somebody would do in 2-3 months and it's gonna happen. So just yesterday, Google released its how to hire an SEO consultant. So if you visit if you visit our blog Page Traffic Buzz, you would see a latest blog where we have shared that video about the Google itself saying that how you can hire an SEO and what all things to be learned about it. And they specifically said the rankings are not something which will come in 3-4 months. They specifically actually mentioned it takes 4 to 12 months. Now imagine Google telling you that it's going to take 4 to 12 months and somebody telling you I can do it in 2 months. So that's a miscommunication about SEO, that if I launch a website, just get the SEO, pay the SEO company, and I'm good to go. That is not. SEO is just like building relationship with links. It takes time. So of course there is Google Panda and Penguin updates. There are a lot of CMS now out there which have a lot of hidden issues. Some sites, for example, especially WordPress, gets hacked on a regular basis. That becomes a problem. Trendy layouts, which people think, one page long website, which people doesn't think from an SEO point of view, that hurts. Boilerplates and duplicate content, so people would have duplicate content if there is a product, almost 70% duplicity, that actually hurts. And there are a lot of things your web developer will do without knowing, and of course the most important thing is with Google Mobile, the responsive design. uh, so let's say the basics again. Again and again I'm emphasizing these are all SEO basics. So everything about search engine optimization is about relevancy, relevancy, relevancy. So your content, your code, your links, your technical, it's all about the relevancy. Most important, be mobile friendly. So 90% of the adults in the US owns a mobile phone of some sort. 56% of the adults own a smartphone. 83% of US smartphone owners use their phone in stores. So it's important your website is mobile friendly. I'm sure you, all of you guys by now, I mean, it's been some years, so mobile, you understand, is very, very important for all of us. If your phone doesn't display Google, of course, Flash is almost dead. So it's something which 2013 Google said they're not going to show it. If your website routes all mobile traffic to the home page rather than the internal page, its ranking will be low. And all I'm talking is almost 3.5 years things. If your site is slow on mobile, Google is less likely to rank it. Though they are things which are almost 3.5 years old, they are very, very important for you guys to understand that they still holds value, and there are a lot of people doing wrong. So that's why I'm mentioning it. So having a mobile site is just a start. So of course you could have user experience. The most important thing is the site loads quickly on your mobile, enabling users to navigate around on a small screen. Of course, taking mobile users to the content that they expect to see. Enabling users to read without pinching and zooming, so images needs to be shown good enough, so they needs to be fitting in your mobile screen. That's very, very important. And as I said, page speed matters. It's continuous matter. So if you want to do page speed, you could benchmark page speed. You can do the top 10 sites in your industry, you can benchmark to them. So you can use Google Page Speed plugin and Yahoo Wiselow, and you can run on them on your home page and random internal pages. And then the recommendations with Google Page Speed, they are pretty much easier to follow. So, and these actually are helping websites. So whenever a client comes to us, we have seen the site speed is something which we work initially, and it actually benefits a lot. After that, let's see. When I also mentioned that we're gonna see something about featured snippets and rank zero. So what exactly is rank zero? This is a snippet. So you see on the top the results of a Wikipedia. That so Google on this page is showing 10 results plus the top results. So that is a rank zero result. So there are different side of snippets which comes from a knowledge graph which Google shows. This is a paragraph snippet which you can see, of course, when you ask a question. This is a table snippet, so which you can see when people are looking for something. So tabular format comes. And this is another one, a list snippet, which now Google is coming. So if you see, these are very, very easy to. I'll share a little bit how we can do that. And so this was a study which was done and by Stratus, a company in the US. And how often did we see such snippets? So paragraph certain snippets now. So this is a study of last year, the comparison between January and July desktop. So if you see in January, there were 81% paragraphs. So from 63% to 81%. List modes decreased, tables decreased, but if, the paragraphs decreased, but the list and the tables actually increased. So when in January there were 81% paragraph snippets, which moved to 63, but if you see the substantial increase in the table and the list snippets, which happened in January, July, and in fact we continue to see the snippets playing a very, very important role for rankings. This is a comparison between mobile and the desktop. So for paragraph, if you see in the July and desktops, so this was July 2016. So if you see for the mobile, it's almost so similarly. So there is just a 1% difference between a mobile and a desktop when it comes to the snippets. This is another idea of the listing snippets. So we rank for this. So most popular keywords on Google, you come to this. And if you see most of these are, for example, it says 499 more. So when it comes to listings, you need to have at least 20 or 30 things on your page so to start showing in the listings. This is another one. So you see which was most popular and most popular. So this is another one of a listing. If you see, we rank number 3 for this keyword normally, the last. However, for the rank 0, we rank number 1. So What I'm trying to say is, even this doesn't require you to do link building or something. This is purely something which you can do with the help of, I will share how we can do this. uh, However, it doesn't require too much of an SEO here. So let's see how we can do that. So the fruit of success, I'm just gonna say. So based on, I'm going to go back and see. So most popular keywords on search engine, most searched keywords on Google, all these, and the idea of this is this post of ours has 92,314 in views, which I'm sure in recent time has increased. This screenshot was taken a few days back. And look at the impressions and the click which I took out for you guys from Google. And most importantly, if you see the CTR, you see the CTR is way too high, 32%, 29%, 24%. That CTR is only high because of the snippets. Because if you see, we are ranked number 3 for most of the keywords, but that CTR is high because you are ranking for that rank 0 is what I talked about. Let's say, how can you get this rank 0? So there is one thing, you can start with a list of common questions. So a list schema is you can do. How to implement, just an example, how to implement a no follow, how to implement a no index, how to implement a rel enter date, how to implement a rel canonical, how to implement a user agent header. Just an example for our industry. You could have a transcript with clear outline steps. So you could even have a transcript and have a step of these, which should be at least, as I repeat, more than 10 to 12 steps, which should be there. These could be there. And the content should provide a lot more info than just how to. So that becomes very, very important for you guys to have lot more things than just having it. So going back to this, and once you have this, you should be sharing the URL on Google. That becomes important, Google Plus. So once you post something, you should have that URL on Google Plus. And of course, you could submit the URL through Search Console. So that's something you can do to speed it up. Just to reiterate, you can identify a simple question, provide direct answer, offer value added, make it easy for user and Google to find. There is, though in this snippet, there is a little bit of technicalities which you guys can have, but most of it requires to have content which is rightly placed. So even if it's a list or a table format, there is something which you could rightly place, and that's how it's going to help. So that is very, very important for you to understand. Going to the international SEO, recently the international SEO is becoming very important. It is easy to do with Google coming up with this. So Google a couple of years back launched something, href lang, which we at Page Traffic also use while doing the SEO. So you could have an alternate version for each of the languages or each of the country. So let's say, for example, in India, this language is still for Google English, and the US also English, and the UK. And I have same key page which I, and same key for same keyword I want to show 3 different results. That's where we can use href lang. So let's say almost same language for different countries. This is Canada, Australia, US, and UK. You could use multiple languages for the same country. Key points, so you can specify only language or country. You can specify in header, sitemap, and the most important thing, for when I go back to this href lang, this tag, this has to be reciprocal. So if I put it on my, let's say, .com homepage, I need to have the same code on my .in homepage, if let's say I have both pages. So that becomes important to understand. And that's where it says must be mutual. As I mentioned before, there is social is important, though there is no direct impact or search engine rankings as yet. However, the studies have shown if you have more social media followers, the more backlinks comes to you. And it's important to build relationship with the social network. So you need to claim brand on appropriate network, build conversations. That's very, very important. Encourage people to create content. And you can have user generated content, which doesn't need to be on your website. So Pinterest boards, LinkedIn group, Instagram is something you can do. And your social audience will enhance your SEO because they're gonna talk more about your products, more about your brands, and that's where they're gonna pass links back to. If you are active on social, they're actually helping you earn links. And there is a, that's what I said, the correlation was, there was a study on correlation and which shows that yes, this is important. So social exactly is not directly a rank factor, but it's a link building factor. So let's see some of the brand signals. So brand search volume matters. So if you have a brand search volume, it's important. Citations matters more. So citations is when mentions of your website or your name or your address. So gain citations and link for your business, which can be done by guest post, get quoted, code, and even just like what we are doing right now. use a variety of sources for citations. For example, OTAs like Yelp, TripAdvisor. You can have news source. You can have it from different of the local website. Uh, Tools you can use to find these citations or build our Google Search Console most majestic. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. And more importantly, sentiments. So what exactly are sentiments? So in 2013, Matt Kurtz, who was with the Google spam team, has left recently, is mentioned this. We are trying to ask ourselves, are there other signals that we can use to spot whether someone is not a great version? And if we can find those, we think that they are not all that spammable, then we are more than happy to use those. So that's something Matt Kurtz says. So positive reviews helps. Google has their own systems. Google use third parties for the process, and Google actually have positive citations if you have on your website. That happens. Positive reviews, which happens. Positive citations across the web also happens, and most importantly, it's attract. So you don't need to build your content that deserves. You need to build a content that deserves to be attractive, likable, shareable. That's very, very important. So if you are building a content just to be, you can learn your audience segmentations. Content should be created around FAQs, health, infographics. Again, you can use different set of tools. I'm gonna talk a little bit about these tools. So you could use relevancies where you can do. You could use Google Search Console. This is Wolfram Alpha. There is another search engine which gives you a little bit of information you could find there as well. That's also important. You can learn about your audience segmentations with this. If you go to Google search keyword planner you are doing, so let's say positive. So this is how I know that if, like, let's say I'm looking about parenting, so Google is giving you idea what kind of articles or write-ups or content you can build around. And if you click, Google is going to give you this all options: positive parenting, parenting positives. So I know I need to have a sheet in it. Let's say if I'm building around parenting tips, I need to have a sheet. I need to, maybe it would be about tips which I can find, and solutions. So these are different ways of say. So website navigation should include links to page targeting highest search volume. So whatever the highest search, those are the keywords which should be there. And you can go to your Google Search Console. You could do the search filter, use it, and you can actually say which of your pages are getting more and more impressions. And again, going back to Google Analytics, you could go to Google Analytics, use advanced segmentations, and understand which channels and sites are more valuable. You could even go to social networks which are providing engagement, so these are the ones which you need to post to. And you can also go to the how many URL services. So this is something where you could go to Google Analytics and find most of these things here. So you could beef up your site. Again, going to the, what I mentioned here was about the parenting tips. So you can have these type of a sites where you could have the content hubs, and micro formats can also be used. So this is another one where we talk about schemas. Schemas were invented in 2011 by, and has been recommended by Google. So even Open Graph is something you could use. JSON you can use, and RDF is a markup extension for HTML5 you should use. And going back to GSE, you could go and Google Search Console, which was formerly Google Webmaster Tools. You could go back and see the data which is coming, and major changes, search analytics, you could actually see there. You could compare devices wise, you could compare date wise. So that's something you can do. So just to reiterate what all you can do, the new SEO rule book is important to understand that. Learn your audience, make content, be mobile friendly, get in on the conversation, and earn citations. You could use it by, so these are some of these snippets, and there is an instant answer. Now Google have all these options. It talks about instant answers, knowledge graph, carousels, local back, news, images, site links, reviews, featured video, featured snippets. So these are all options you can have even without, and most of this doesn't even require you to do, let's say, a link building. So a knowledge graph doesn't require you to be link building. Reviews doesn't require, featured snippets doesn't require you to do link building. Three core principles, just to reiterate, of the SEO: indexation, relevancy, and popularity. So technical solution that represent SEO best practice, site architectures mapped to these semantical verticals. Relevancy, when you optimize your keywords into silos. So let's say if a product is mobile, then the silo is mobile, and that particular product talks only about mobile reviews, maybe mobile accessories, and not compared, mixing it with something. Let's say you are trying to sell some different product, maybe a television. So those type of things could be done. And what we see is important, that which Google came with some of these solutions with the Alexa by Amazon, and Google also coming with the Google Home Hub. So we expect the rise of voice search and persist. So voice search is something important here, and you guys need to understand that something you can take value from. So Google has reported 20% of mobile searches are voice, so which are in fact more than that. Amazon Echo and Google Homes is actually which is available, and a lot of people are buying in the US. So it becomes important that you are found when you do a voice search. So the best way to do it right now is get in front of your customer on their devices at least once. That will allow your result to be served more often due to personalizations. Craft copy that answers question would be something which is we talked about the snippets. Markup copy with schemas, which is important. You can use schemas. Create hub for the content. That's something also you can do. Then I talked about the rank brain, which happened. So rise of artificial intelligence, which was there. So rank brain is one of the signals which we feel is Google is automatically coming. Then as I talked about hub, so it's not only that. So when Google launched, there were two things. Google say there are authority pages and there are hub pages. So let's say a Supreme Court of India would be an authority pages, but bus station is going to be a hub where a lot of bus goes out. Of course, they comes in also, but it's not an authority. So Google says it's not that the links which goes out from, if you get more and more links, you become an authority. But if you give more and more links out, you become a hub. And actually hub ranks. So just to say, if I'm talking about a page which is an authority and it's giving, let's say I write about top 100 tools in SEO and I am giving link to 100 of these websites and I'm doing it, let's say on a 3000 pages, 3000 words, that is where that makes sense to have that kind of a hub, and these actually rank. So it's not only that you need to get links inside, it's okay if you give a link outside. So that's something you need to understand. We believe social factors still have more weight, but again, Bing says it does, but for us right now, it is only that the social activities increases the links earning and which helps in ranking. So Google has again, it's not something which is important. Just to reiterate, search demand 2017 SEO. Search demand for content will be at higher with the adaptation of home and virtual assistants, just like Google Alexa, Amazon Alexa and Google Home. Quick website page load speed is very, very important. That is becoming very, very important for you guys to understand, and the speed I've been saying is important here. Content will be more conversational, so because it has to be just not like you could just type up for content, flat content. That's important. Website user engagement will contribute to website organic visibility, which seems to be the update which came on February 7th is a little bit hinting towards that. Of course, frequently updated content amplified by search is key element. So you don't think that you built a blog and you're just posting one post every 4 months is not something which is going to help. Maximizing the visibility of content asset in mobile apps is also going to play. The adaptation of HTTPS is also very, very important for the visibility of the rankings. That's something also is important to understand and helping. Just one more thing I have to share with you guys before I would end this. Just a second. Okay. So these are the things which you could guy understand. So solid factors I talked about, and so the whole point what I'm trying to make is in 2017 the SEO, just to reiterate, is going to be more about the how you build your websites, how fast is it, how you are utilizing with the snippets, and how you are utilizing with the schemas. That's very, very important. How far you are updating your website, and more importantly with the February 7th update, how good you are in the engagements. Is your website engaging enough? We just have a very thin content. So those are some of the things which are important to understand. And with this, I will end this, and I would have kept intentionally more time for the Q&A so that you guys can actually take benefit of one more of this. And I will give it to Divya. So we are open for the Q&A, Divya.
Sure. Thank you, Navneet. So just before starting with the poll, I would like you all to fill out the poll, which is about if you are looking for a digital marketing course. And also there was a common question which was raised by participants regarding the recording of the session. So you all will get your the session recording along with the presentation delivered to your inbox by Tuesday. So let's start with the questions. So the first question is by Jilmil. She's asking what should be the average load time of a site if you're not considering any of the Google tools.
Uh, it should be less than 2 seconds. So,
Thank
but
you.
again, yeah, at least 2 seconds. The first screen should be visible for people. Do not have more than 2 or 3 seconds to start showing it. So, at tops up beyond 5 seconds they leave. So at least if they can have the first screen, which is loaded in less than 5 seconds, that should be good. But two is the one which you prefer.
So moving to Rupesh question, he's asking, I'm a property consultant and have 50 microsites. I'm using same mobile number in all website. Is it wrong? Do I have to put 50 different numbers?
Now, if these are microsites geared towards, if you're looking for a local SEO, then and you want to rank for the local, the Google Map or Google local result, then the numbers, different numbers becomes important. But if you are just planning to have 50 microsites of same address, then the same number will do.
Thank you.
Divya.
Moving to next question, it's about what are the main tactics we need to follow for local SEO and to get the results as soon as possible.
See, the first of all, most important for the local SEO is the H card or a V card, as we say. Let's assume you have a website which you want to rank for local SEO. It's important that the address consistency, which we call as NAP, name, address, phone number. So the name, address, phone number on your web page typically should be on the home page. The same address in a H card format could be also on your contact us page, and the same should be submitted in Google local. So the consistency is very, very important when it comes to local, and you should have something where the consistency in terms of, and then you are doing submissions across some other local website. So even if you are submitting to Bing or let's say Sulekha, the local addresses and consistencies are very, very important across the website. So that is the very most important factor when it comes to local SEO. Divya.
Thank you. Next question is by Radhika. She is asking, hi Navneet, can you address the LSI, latent semantic indexing keyword search, in its relevance in today's mobile search time?
I would say LSI is no longer applicable. It was something you could just say right now the LSI is basically when you are looking for a keyword, the related keywords is basically an LSI. So let's say if I'm writing about a desktop computer and a hard disk or a keyboard or a mouse, this becomes a related words which you could use. Now there is no separate difference between an LSI when it comes to the mobile or a desktop. They remain same. Divya.
Thank you. Next question is by Imran. He's asking your views about Google mobile pop-up ads.
Google mobile pop-up ads. Of course, Google has been coming down very strictly on the interterrestrial and the pop-up ads. So I would recommend not having them on your website, or totally avoiding them as much as you can. Divya.
So Rupesh is asking, name few tools which can help me to know my competitors, what is my organic score and what improvements are required.
Yeah, so there are a couple of tools. SimilarWeb is a very, very good tool. You could use similarweb.com. That is one tool you can use. The second tool you could use is SEMrush. That's also a good tool. Now have all the countries' data. So these two tools will give you good information. Not the SEMrush is only for SEO, but when it comes to SimilarWeb, it will give you the whole build of the audience in terms of how the marketing, where all they are getting traffic from beyond organic. So that's a good way to know how understand how those your competitor is getting traffic or the referrals from. Divya.
Thank you. Moving to next question by Supratim. He's asking how important is providing keywords for web page? What is the optimal number of keywords for a web page?
Okay, how important it is to provide keywords for the web page? So I would say it becomes important for a keywords for a web page, because if you do not have a keyword, how do you optimize it? So let's say if I have a page, let's say I have a page about SEO services. If I'm gonna write about SEO services, that becomes keyword. I can call that as. Now, second thing is, if I'm writing about SEO services, I can have n number of keywords related to it. But to be safer side, if and they should all be. I cannot have a same page optimized for three different set of keywords. So I could have an SEO services, but I cannot optimize it for, let's say, content marketing services. So anything which is related to SEO or SEO services, I could use them, and there is no limit to it. But safer to be just to be safe, I would say, depending on which page is it. If it's a home page, you can use more keywords. If it's an inner page, I would not go beyond 5 to 10 keywords for a page. Depend.
Thank you. Next question is by Rachit. He's asking, there's a lot of talk about Wix-built websites being bad at SEO. So what's your opinion for the same?
Which type of website?
Based, the templated ones,
The
where you
template
don't
website?
require, yeah, like flavors, or I'm not getting any other name. Wix is one of the online tool
Oh,
through
okay. Those
which you
are
get
the
the
websites. Right, right.
template.
So they are not exactly getting banned, I would say. The only thing with these websites is it's hard to optimize them, because they don't give you many options to optimize, especially with platform like Wix. You do not have too much room in it. So they're not getting banned, but it's little tough to rank them as of now. But I think search engines as well as these sites are working. So I think in at least a year or something, these things will start changing. But as of now, it's not something they are banned, but they are, yes, tough to rank. Depend.
Thank you. Moving to next question. Um, so what are the top 5 SEO activities will be required and are the turning points in in 2017?
I did mention the whole presentation around it, but I'll just revise. The top 5 activity will be the technical SEO. So you have your websites fixed for the technical things. Second would be your website doesn't have any UI issues or the issues about conversion. That becomes important. Third is, of course, links and how you are getting links from. And the fourth is mentions in social media. That's important. And fifth, you could take as a total all the site speed or the mobile friendliness. Depend.
Thank you. Next question is about, I'm a part of digital marketing team, Tata Capital. What SEO strategy needs to be followed for B2B kind of business like commercial loans when I'm targeting CFOs and CXOs or owners or proprietors?
See, because search is intent based, so when people have a need, they go back and search. So there is no way you could target a specific. So I mean, there is nobody typing, for example, let's say a commercial loan for a CFO or a CXO. So the search will always remain intent based. So I mean, it's mainly what kind of a keywords people are searching. When it comes to, if you are asking me the audience where you will find, of course you will find more better audience for this in LinkedIn. You could run LinkedIn ads, but since this is an all about SEO we're talking today, so I wouldn't say there is anything different you need to do for SEO. However, the only thing also you can do differently is mentioning those content or having the content or guest blogging on a websites which are related to this business.
So Prati is actually sharing her problem, which is about their website got hit by a Google update in later part of 2016. They have done a lot of changes with website in terms of content, internal linking, backlinking, cleanups, but it still doesn't show up. In fact, the websites which have been new, and instead of this one which is from 2000, they are it's been lacking behind from the new startups. So
Now
can you
it's
suggest
very
something to Prachi?
Prachi, the only thing is that I could give you, this would be a very generic answer, and your problem is very specific. So I would really need to see the website to recommend, because I could just, because you mentioned you have done all things, but I'm sure there must be something wrong. But unless I know the specific about a website and have access to the Google Search Console, this is very hard to say. Maybe you could contact us. Our team can help you with that. So you could visit our website, fill up a contact us form. We can help you with that. Divya.
Thank you. Next question is by Akash. He's saying, what is the impact of data highlighters for website ranking in Google search?
See, data highlighters, which you can do with Google Search Console, are basically helping you put a schema. So the impact is when you start showing the increase in the CTR, which is the click-through rate. So that is the impact which is there. So if the data is highlighted, it shows in a tabular format, so or in a snippet format. That's something which helps in the CTR, but not as such in the rankings.
Thank you. Harsh question is about, can we outsource citation building? I've seen White Spark does it, but it's not available in India. Any sites that can do it?
There are not many. But the only problem with this is that there are in India, there are not more than 15, 20 websites which you will be able to build citations with. So, however, the good thing is a lot of their websites, international sites are, Brightest Spark is one which we does, but specifically for India, I myself don't have more than 20 websites where I could do a citation because there are not many Indian websites. You could come up with Just Dial, Suleka, and then there are the international Bing, uh, Google local, but not beyond 20. So even if you find a company, it's gonna be just one-time exercise. So you could point somebody, get a list, and do it yourself. But I don't think it's more than 20. Divya.
Thank you. Vikar's question is about domain forwarding versus DNS pointing, which is better from SEO perspective for additional domains.
Uh, it depends if you are let's just simply say we have a domain called pagetraffic.com with double F, and we also have a domain with pagetraffic.com with single F. So what we are doing is if somebody types the spelling wrong, it just redirects to the our website. So this is just done at a DNS level. This does not holds any SEO utility as such. So you could be fine with doing anyway, as long as you are not redirecting an existing website or just doing it with the domains. Divya.
Thank you. Ram is asking, I just started SEO for one of my clients and I'm a beginner. This is my first project in SEO and someone has already done SEO for the website using few keywords that kept the homepage as the landing page. Since the homepage load time is slow due to media files, I created a new web page and optimized for the same keyword. But still, when I use a search for the particular keyword, the homepage shows in search engine results instead of the new page. So which he has optimized. So any suggestions for him? Any checkpoints?
The only thing I would say, because obviously the homepage is ranking because there are a lot of links which are coming for that homepage. So important to have those keywords on the homepage, link, and those keywords link to that internal pages which you are doing. That's one I'm sure we should have been done already be there. Second is you could do is optimize. You can link those pages to the. You can build links towards those pages. So if you already have some internal links or some links which are coming from third party which you have control, you could point to those inner pages. The only way to get homepage off and your inner page in is get more and more links, incoming links towards your new pages. Divya.
Thank you. Umarnath needs your support regarding selecting a quality SEO service provider. Since whoever he has talked to till now, he finds them talking big, but they have not done nothing for him.
Uh, as I just mentioned, if you go to our website pagetrafficbuzz.com, there was a yesterday only there was Google released how to hire a SEO consultant. That is an 11 minutes video. It's a good video. So even if you Google how to hire an SEO consultant, Google, you will find that video on YouTube. So that video is a good start for you to say. I mean, if you come to us, for example, we're not going to talk big. We will be very practical, what you can expect, what you cannot, and which resonates what the video talks as well. Divya.
So Harsh wants to know what is all about the new update called Groundhog Update.
The update is something which is still not very clear. So I would say as I mentioned before also, that the update is something which is brewing up right now. So I don't have much data to talk about it. It's just a name, which is of course given by the SEO. So I haven't come across much information about this update as of now. Divya.
Great. Ankita wants to know, she has more than one H1 and H2 tags on a single page. Does this cause a problem?
Typically, you should have only one. So you could have one H1, one H2. You should not have two H1 or two H2. It's not a big deal breaker, but typically from a semantic point of view of a web page, you should have one. So it's not a big problem, but if you can fix it, I would go ahead and fix it. Divya.
Thank you. Mayank wants to know about the importance of creating tags and categories.
Creating tags and categories. Of course, I'm assuming you're talking about the blog or a WordPress website. So tags are no longer recommended because they create a lot of duplicities. Even if you have category pages, ensure that not the whole blog post is posted on that page, so it creates unnecessary duplicacy. Uh, I don't see many of the tag pages ranking in Google unless they were already ranking previously. I don't see many of them, so it's not very important to do that. Divya.
Thank you. This is Sam's question. He is about to launch his own e-commerce store with Magento as the platform. I am planning on engaging as an SEO consultant to help audit my site and help me set up the site with all the rights basic. How do I estimate the fees for something like this?
See, the fees will be estimated on the number of hours the consultant going to be engaged for. So if the consultant is going to be engaged for, if it's a small website, I don't know exactly how many products you would have. The fees would be somewhere based on, and it could be maybe a 1 month fees for the whole SEO thing. So something, it will depends more on the efforts, and they will provide you a list of what all they will do. So based on the list, you could understand how much, and they would be giving you an hour, so that will give you a fair idea about how much it will cost. Divya.
Thank you. Arun wants to know, can you please tell him about the hidden issues in a CMS?
The hidden issues in the CMS, there are a lot of issues which could occur with the CMS. Just I'll give you example of few of them. WordPress has an issue when the tags are activated or the category pages have the whole blog post. These are one of the issues. Magento has one big issue where the pages doesn't get updated. The XML sitemap is not always correct, and the you have to use robot.txt to uh, optimize or to block some of the pages. So those are some of the issues. Every CMS has their own challenges, so I cannot uh, generalize it. But however, most of them concerns to crawling pages which have thin content or it doesn't have content. Divya.
Thank you. Kamal wants to know how to optimize same keywords for local cities. For example, my keyword is ranking good in Delhi, but I want to rank same keyword in Mumbai, Bangalore, etc. How can we optimize our site for this?
The only way is to preferably create a separate pages for these specific cities and try to get more citations or more uh, links to those particular pages with those as those cities in the anchor text. Divya.
Thank you. Nathan wants to know, is it required to use Google AdWords for better ranking apart from organic search for local
No,
listing?
it's not required. It's not required. Google itself says it's not something ranking factor or a local list factor.
Thank you. Shweta wants to know, there's a lot of difference in data between Alexa and SimilarWeb. Which one is more reliable?
Uh, Alexa is based on the toolbars which are installed on the computer. So that could be skewed because not you and me or every common user will install. So if you ask me, I would favor SimilarWeb because the amount of data they have. However, the most reliable data, if you see, is SEMrush, which we prefer right now. Then I would rank number two SimilarWeb, and said it's purely based on how many. If it's installed in my browser, then it's based on the browser history. While both other tools doesn't work like that. So the browser can be little biased. I could have 20 people in my office install Alexa just to skew it, but the SimilarWeb and SEMrush has no issues like that.
Thank you. Rahil wants to know what tool used to be used to monitor each keyword ranking regularly with historical data.
We use our internal APIs, but you could, if you have data, you could use the APIs of the some of the software which this comes. However, you could use SEMrush, and for historic data, you could also use SimilarWeb for that. Uh, so you can use most of these tools available, but paid to, they're all paid, so you could use any of these tools to monitor rankings. Divya.
Thank you. Um, e- Next question is about, is website pop-ups like email subscription are penalized by Google search engines for ranking in search engine results?
The photo, what exactly was the question?
Um, Pop-ups like email subscription are penalized by Google search.
No, accesses of it. If you just have one pop-up, it should be okay. But if you are having too many pop-ups on your website, yes, they can. They will.
Next question is, if I submit backlinks using mylink.com site, can I get backlinks for my website, or can I get traffic from Facebook?
If you submit your backlinks from,
Using dropmylink.com. That's a site
I,
for
I
getting
have no
backlinks.
idea about that.
Okay.
I would only say that I won't have much idea about this tool. So
Then
not
we'll
something I would.
respond to your query later.
Yeah.
So Nidhi wants to know, hi Navneet, which format of website is better in ranking? One with many internal subpages opening in different tabs, or one with single scroll page?
Different pages opening in different tabs, but again depends on the user experience. However, if it's can be opened in different tabs, basically means different unique URLs, I would prefer that.
Thank you. Next question is by Shubhendu. If a brand has multiple product verticals addressing different customer segments, such as Canon, which is one into camera and photocopy machine, to industrial products, then what is a suggestion for website content? As an audience, it's expected from website is varied. Do we create different website for each vertical?
No, it doesn't. I would say previously you could create different websites for different verticals and it would help. Now, gone are the days you could do that. So the best way would be to have just one website and maybe just have a category. So you could have camera as one folder level, and you could have industrial products at one level. That would be recommended. However, if both are completely different products, so let's say if you are selling specifically a product which is meant for a B2C and there is another product which is meant for B2B, then I would recommend having two different websites, or because the people can actually get confused with that. Divya.
So next question is by Rahil. He wants to know what platform is the best to target a specific type of audience, since we have a live training which is provided to school students and they need to target the school decision makers.
For any school decision makers or those, I would recommend the LinkedIn ads, or a LinkedIn is better than doing anything else. Divya.
Thank you. Ankit's question is about, we are launching a website soon that will bring relevant answers from multiple websites on a single question at one platform. Should I manipulate the content in order to keep the content crisp, or instead should I mention the source origin there only?
I would say if you could mention the source, then it should be okay. But if you are looking to rank for this, you could probably rewrite it and have it on your page. That is also something which can work. Divya.
Thank you. I believe we are almost done with the questions. So there was one question which was sent into the chat. Give me a second. So it's by Prashant. Hi Navneet. When we see search for any website, the social network do appear at time before the actual site. This way it indirectly affects the SEO, right? Should we give a lot of time and importance to SMO strategy for SEO strategy? If yes, are there any tools to help us with that?
So basically, the question is that a lot of website, a lot of social networks comes in top 10, and should we optimize for them? Is that the question?
How social media content should be optimized, and can we do it with a tool?
See, of course, the social media content is only ways that you ensure the content title relates to the sub body of the content, and also you could have most of these things which is important there in terms of how the content is ranking. And the way which I mentioned before also is if you have something on social, that's gonna be amplified, people will share. So it's important to continue having your presence on the social in that sense. But beyond that, if you just look from an SEO point of view, there is not something much you can do right now on social. Divya.
Thank you. Akash question is how to set up more than 160 characters in a website description Google search. We have seen some of these websites which shows more than 160 characters.
It's not exactly, Akash, related to the characters. It's related to the width, how much content is covered. So let's say, I mean, just hypothetically, it's the names. Sometimes the English words, the characters could be bigger. For example, an I has takes less space than an O. So more or less, it's something like that. There is no other evidence that it could be more than 160 characters otherwise, if you look at it closely. Divya.
So, thank you. Taking up the final question, it's by Arbit. How can a person optimize a news website? Any suggestions?
A news website optimization is a separate topic. It's not something I won't be doing justice to it. But if you optimize, very important to have. Google has a guidelines for this. So the best is if you go to Google, if you say how to get listed in Google News, and Google has a complete documentation which is very nice. So you could actually follow that, and that's actually very helpful. Divya.
Thank you. So we'll wind up this session. And thank you so much, Navneet, for taking your time out and leading such a wonderful session for all of us. And thank you, everyone, for participating so well in this session. We would love to see you in the next webinar. So once we have the next webinar launch, we'll share the URL with you. You all can register for that. Also, we'll share out the recording of this session along with the presentation by latest by Tuesday with you over an email. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Sandeep. Bye bye.